And good morning, YouTube. This is your friendly neighborhood old soldier coming at you this morning from Robeson County, North Carolina, where it's kind of a cloudy, overcast day. Looks like it rained a little bit last night, and I think we may get some more later today. It is definitely, oh wow, is that what I think that is? That is what I think that is. One of I was doing driving across my front yard because there's a coyote in the adjacent field. He must be headed home after a night of hunting. But anyway, folks. Like I said, the weather has warmed up a little bit today, but I was looking at the forecast. Tomorrow it's supposed to get down into the 30s, so some topsy-turvy weather we're getting here. But had a good turnout last night on our live show. Had a lot of new first-time visitors and a lot of old hands. I want to say thank you to everybody that came out last night and supported the channel. We still had some good conversations, some good poetry. All in all, I had a good time. Got one special request. My buddy Luke Dog, he's usually there. I was to the understanding he came down with the flu. So pray for him for a speedy recovery, because nobody wants to have the flu, let alone this time of year have the flu. So if you could just remember old Luke Dog in your prayers that he gets better soon. So now I'm on my way to work. Got finals this week to give. So I give my first set of finals tomorrow, and then I give my second set on Friday. So we can do some reviewing with the kids today and checking notebooks, because they get a test grade for their notebook, that kind of thing. So, fun stuff. Christmas right around the corner. Me and Mrs. Old Soldier, we're going to take a little hiatus for a week. I'll still be doing my videos, it'll just be in a different location. That kind of thing. But yeah, we're going to get out and away for a little bit and just kind of enjoy life for a moment, or 3 or 4. So what do I want to talk about today? Well, talk about a couple things. One is my thoughts and prayers to those who are living in Virginia, especially the draconian laws that their state legislature is about to impose upon them in the control of firearms ownership, types, etc. It goes to show where major population centers can have a very tyrannical and, if not derogatory, effect on the whole of a state. However, people don't hate me for what I'm about to say, but part of the reason the Constitution was established in a manner that it was to allow the states as much internal governance as possible. However, the Bill of Rights was designed to protect certain rights to the people, one of which is the right to bear arms. Now, the argument there that has been used for time on end, and I'm getting sick of hearing it, is it's for a well-armed and regulated militia. No, the militia is just one aspect of that right. There is a separate statement in there regarding the right of the people to bear and keep arms. And the final one, separate statement is, shall not be infringed. Now, there's been some talk in circles about, well, all you constitutional 2A right-wing nut jobs, I've been called that, they'll say that, and then what about ex-felons? You know, they've paid their debt to society. Well, I've stated many times on this channel that I think for non-violent ex-felons, there ought to be a recourse or measure that would allow them to have those rights restored. Somebody said, well, what if it's a violent offender who's been well, I'm not so far as I want to go risk that one. Okay, they've been reformed, great for them. Kudos, they learned. But if they were incarcerated for a history of violent behavior, I would be against them getting their firearms rights back. But if they were convicted for non-violent offense, then I think there ought to be a recourse or measure to doing that. And again, I don't have all the answers there, folks. I'm not going to sit there and tell you that I've been expert in drafting that. Certainly not, but I think there's got to be a pathway forward some kind of way. Most states already now allow ex-felons to get their voting rights back once they have fully paid their debt to society. So I don't see why they can't get, if they're a non-violent offender, why they couldn't get their firearms right restored. Because in most states, ex-felons can possess and own black powder firearms. But anyway, folks, moving right along. My next thing I want to talk about is this one-way ramrod show that Jerry Nadler's pushing with this impeachment process, making up the rules as he goes, bringing in, it's, folks, I get rule of law. If the president truly did something to compromise the national security of this nation and truly abused the power of his office, I'd be all for this. But honestly, everything that has been thrown out there, it's just one thing after another that when the left, this ultra elitist left, don't get their way, you know, they make up crap. They're playing, you know, loosely with the rules, very loosely. Now, someone can say, well, the Republicans did the same thing to Clinton back in the 90s. Yeah, they did. They went after him for lying to the American people about personal behavior. And my younger days, I thought that was, you know, they needed to slam the guy. But in retrospect, he that is without sin cast the first stone. My opinion is that Mr. Clinton ought to have resigned at that point in time, but the moral tone of the nation was changing and has changed. And the sad part is the previous president brokered and did far, far worse and was never touched, not by his own party or the opposing party. And that one, you know, that one's got me concerned, because that last little bit he did, dropping off all that money to Iran in the middle of the night off of a cargo airplane in cash, and nobody calls foul, nobody proposes any type of charges be brought up, no investigation, nothing to see here, folks. You know, for me, that was kind of the icing on top, or the cherry on top of the icing on top of the cake. But everybody's like, well, it's almost the end of his term, he'll be out, blah, 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 blah. Okay. But then what we see is that his camp is still sideline attacking the current president, disrupting his administration every chance he gets, for whatever reason, whether it's personal, whatever the case may be. Supposedly ruining his, President Obama's legacy. Legacy of what? Hope and change that never happened? False promises that were never fulfilled? Lie to the entire American people to push a hidden agenda? Allowing the deep state to become more to the forefront? The list goes on. So that brings me back to this impeachment witch hunt. That's exactly what it is. It is a witch hunt. It is a farce. Every investigation that has come through on this thing, see, they got mad because they couldn't get him on the Russian collusion because there's nothing there. Their own guy pretty much stated there was nothing there. There's nothing to be seen. Nothing out, boom. If anything, it shed light on their own little moles, if you will, and their miscreant behavior. And that brings me another point of contention. This IG report from the FBI stating that there was no criminal activity on behalf of their agency regarding this whole thing, but they found some very serious issues. You get two people that worked for you that basically stated to one another that they weren't going to allow Donald Trump to be elected president by whatever means they possibly could drum up. If that's not criminal, I don't know what is. And all the undue influence that is being pushed in Washington, D.C. right now. And I'm not talking about just the left, folks. I'm not talking about the left only. The right has their fair share of undue pushing too. And you're saying to yourself, whoa, wait a minute, what are you talking about, old soldier? There's a group of Republicans up there, the never-Trumpers, the rhinos. They are so knee-deep in bed with the liberal left, it's not even funny. And it's all to contrive to screw the American people and get rich in the process. I said it, there you go. You got two senators from this state that I think they're in bed with them. Both of them promised to do things when they got up there. They haven't really fulfilled it all. Now I'm sure I'm going to make some people mad with that, but Tom Tillis was supposed to go up there and change some things, and he's just turned around and caved in to the whole shabill and whole shebang. And it's aggravating. I voted for the man. And, so, again, but I'm just tired of, like I said, back to the whole impeachment deal. It's a waste of taxpayers' dollars. It's a waste of effort, resources. And again, Congress is not doing what they were elected to do, which is to serve the people of the United States, because they are so, pardon my language, folks, I very seldom, but they are so hell-bent on trying to get Donald Trump out of office because they hate and despise the man because he is wrecking the way business is done in Washington, D.C. And they don't like it. That is really what it amounts to. And again, folks, I've told you time and again, I do not like Donald Trump. I have never liked Donald Trump as a person or as an individual. I think during his campaign, he shot his mouth off when he ought to have kept quiet. He tweets too much. Somebody needs to take his phone away from him before he tweets. My opinion. Because I know there's some of y'all out there that are diehard Trump supporters. I am not attacking the president. I'm just telling you what I don't like about the man, the individual. And if that bothers you, then I don't know what to tell you. Hate me for it, I guess. All I'm getting at is that he could adjust his own behavior some, and it would probably stave off some of the ridicule he gets. Again, my opinion, but he's set in his ways. As a businessman, I got to respect his business acumen. He has won and lost I don't know how many fortunes, and I'll be quite honest with you. Anybody that can lose and rebuild wealth like he did, I give him credit. He knows what he's doing. Now, some people say, well, he was given all that money to begin with. He might have been. He may very well have been. But his daddy worked hard to get that money. You gonna hate the man for that? He didn't do anything more than what Kennedy's dad did for his boys. Just saying, folks. You know, there's people out there that hate Trump because he's rich, and that he was born into a family of affluence and wealth. Okay, somebody worked to build that wealth and affluence. You're gonna fault his daddy for giving him a leg up above the competition? Nobody wants to see their child suffer. Nobody wants to see their child be unsuccessful. You know, if you can, you give what you can to. But again, Donald Trump has lost and rebuilt several businesses over the years, and I respect that. I just don't like his attitude on a lot of things. Would it change if I ever met him? Possibly, if I ever got to know the man personally. You know, maybe not. Who knows? I'm not crazy about his choice when it comes to his religion, and I'll leave it there. You know, I'm not 100% sold there, but again, I'm not going to say that he ain't. I'm talking about salvation, folks. I've got a big issue with celebrities and salvation anyway. So many of them claim to know God, but then their behavior and their attitudes and their actions spell the opposite. And I don't say anything because I don't want to be accused of judging. Because one thing I will never ever say to somebody is that claims to be saved is that you're not saved. Because that is a personal choice amongst individuals and God. However, I can question their behavior. And Donald Trump's behavior in the past has not been so admirable. Okay. But he ain't the only one. You've got the former president that can't keep his hands in his own cookie jar. Be polite about it. So anyway, tie this all back. There's a movement out there to get rid of Donald Trump as the President of the United States because of the fact what he's doing. Jobs are through the roof. Unemployment is historically at an all-time low. Gross domestic product is up, and up significantly. And the last president darn near bankrupted us. And in a matter of 3 years, the current president has reversed all those fortunes. He's bringing jobs back to the U.S. That I gotta respect. Now, there are those out there that will say at the end of the day, though, that all had to do with Barack Obama. No, it did not. No, it did not. But I'm not going to try and convince those diehard believers otherwise, because when you show them the facts and they still refute it, you're not going to convince them otherwise. But anyway, like I said, and it's the same mindset of people that are trying to get rid of President Trump for the fact that they can't stand him. And folks, it just needs to stop. It just needs to stop. If they put this time, attention, effort, money, and resources into other things that are wrong with this nation that they are in trying to impeach President Trump, you'd really start to see some things get done up there. And what I'm hoping is come November 2020, many of these dipsticks that are pushing for this impeachment get voted out of office. And the balance of power will change. And hopefully if it does change, people don't get spiteful. What do you mean by that, old soldier? Meaning that if the Republicans or the conservatives regain control of the House and retain control of the Senate, that they don't go off half-cocked and spiteful against the Democrats. Well, wait a minute, old soldier, you just said you... I never said I didn't like any of those people. I just don't like what they're doing. And I don't think that if we regain control of the House and the Senate, that being spiteful will solve anything. But that's been the nature of the beast over the years. That needs to stop. I mean, that's the other part of right now, the Democrats in control of the House. They're being spiteful. Plain simple. Childish and spiteful. Yesterday, watching Jerry Nadler try to shut down the opposition when they had legitimate questions was just being childish and spiteful, because look at me, I've got the big gavel, I'm in charge, what I say goes, nothing else matters. I don't care what you say, what the book says, I'm in charge. That kind of mentality, that kind of attitude, like a spoiled little brat. So anyway, folks, I got to get off here so I can go to work. God bless you, take care. I've talked too long today. So until tomorrow, it's the old soldier out.